welcome back to my channel. I'm Mila and today's video will be about protein. The fact that the amount of protein consumed significantly affects the maintenance and building of muscle mass is widely known and used by all professional athletes as well as amateurs who want to base their activities related to physical activity on reliable knowledge delivered from scientific research. And today I'll be talking about the primary information you have to know about protein. First of all, it is worth explaining what protein really is and what an important role it plays in the human body. Firstly, protein is a component of every cell in our body, including those located in muscle tissue. The cells found in this tissue are called myocytes and have the character of syncytium, which basically means that they're multinucleated cells formed as a result of fission of mononuclear cells. They consist of myofibrils, otherwise known as contractile fibers, which include two types of filaments. Thin filaments made of proteins such as actin, trypomyosin, and troponin, and thick filaments made of myosin. The structure described above is an irrefutable evidence that protein is the primary building blocks of muscle tissue. So what destructive changes occur in our body in a state of hyperproteinemia or protein deficiency? First of all, I want to touch the topic of the disorders that can cause this condition. Except from the obvious reason of not consuming enough protein with food, hyperproteinemia can be caused by many diseases including liver diseases that retard absorption of protein in meals, or kidney diseases that cause excessive loss of protein with urine. There are also possible situations when a given body is not able to absorb enough protein as a result of birth defects. How to recognize protein deficiency? The best option would be obviously to do laboratory tests. Most people don't count macronutrients, so they don't know the exact amount of protein they consume. If you do the laboratory test and you don't need enough protein, you will see charts showing too low overall plasma protein levels, as well as selected fractions such as globulins responsible for maintaining immunity or albulins regulating osmotic pressure. Protein deficiency causes many negative symptoms, but let's focus strictly on muscle mass. At the beginning, we will notice symptoms such as reduced strength, muscle spasm, or pain. Our body needs protein for many processes, so it is logical that it must absorb it from somewhere. Where can our body obtain protein for when it is not supplied for food? From itself, however awkwardly it sounds. This type of situation occurs in the extreme form of malnutrition, for example, caused by eating disorders such as anorexia, and a catabolic reaction occurs. Muscle catabolism happens when the body needs to obtain energy from the loaded stores of macronutrients, fats, carbohydrates, or proteins. Muscles are used first because they are the best available access to protein. How to prevent this unfavorable process? It is actually really simple. Just focus on the basics, such as adequate amount of calories you consume and high protein supply. Above all, the problem of many athletes is that they are paying attention to supplements such as glutamine, leucine, casein, creatine, more than the obvious aspects of maintaining muscle mass. And it is really not simple. Starving yourself and doing some weird stuff will definitely not help you, and you will never cheat on your body because your body knows better than you. So how much protein should you consume? As it happens in the broadly understood health, it depends, and I know that this is probably not your favorite answer to any fitness related question, but it's usually also a very relatable one because this is a very individualized issue. This number is influenced by many factors such as the body's energy economy, age, height and weight, gender, intensity, duration, and type of training performed. The standard value is between 1.5 and 2.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. For physically inactive people, it is about 0.9 grams per kilogram of body weight, which is about 10 to 15% of the diet's energy value. It is also worth noting that this demand is different even for different types of sports. For example, in bodybuilding, it is about 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. In American football, around 1.76 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. And in powerlifting, around 1.5 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. The adequate protein supply for people who are physically active is also extremely important because of the body's antioxidant potential. Because while exercising, the oxidative stress increases. The synthesis of enzymatic proteins contained in mitochondria is increased during endurance training. Both the increased intensity and duration of such training cause an increased rate of oxidation of amino acids, in particular when the glycogen reserve is depleted. That brings us to a clear conclusion that insufficient amount of protein consumed reduces the efficiency of athletes' training, which is probably the reasons why professional athletes have their own dietitians that tell them exactly what to eat, because the amount of protein has a huge impact on how well you do during your trainings. The situation is slightly different when it comes to strength trainings, because these types of trainings do not affect the synthesis of mitochondrial proteins so much, but are used mainly in increasing muscle strength. Consuming a large amount of protein, and I mean much larger than the average person who does not work out, along with a properly planned training plan that includes resistance trainings, will lead to stimulation of muscle mass growth. That's all I wanted to say. I hope that you found this video at least a bit helpful and that you know a bit more about protein right now. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like this video, and follow me on Instagram and Twitter and all my social media. The links are in the description. Yeah, and now I'm going inside because it has just started raining. I love you guys so much. Bye bye.